Is the Triumph NSS 8SQ Classic lift the right choice for your garage, or are you better off spending that money elsewhere? Who will actually get value out of a 4-post lift that's billed as shorter, and who should walk away before they waste time and cash? And, for the everyday buyer who just wants a reliable way to park a second car or get under the hood without crawling on the floor, does the price make sense? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I first started looking at garage lifts, the biggest hesitation I felt was the sheer amount of space they gobble up. A full-size 4-post lift can dominate a garage, turning a room that once comfortably fit a sedan and a workbench into a concrete jungle of steel. The Triumph NSS 8SQ promises a shorter footprint, about 2 feet less in overall length than the standard NSS 8, and that claim immediately caught my eye because my own garage is only 141 inches long. I wanted to see whether that saved length actually translates to a usable setup without compromising the lift's core purpose. Let's start with the basics that matter once the unit is in place. The lift is rated for 8,000 pounds, so it handles everything from a lightweight sports car to a full-size pickup, assuming the vehicle's height clears the 84-inch maximum lift height. The drive-through width of 93 inches means you can roll a car onto the lift without needing to swivel it dramatically, a practical detail that saves a lot of elbow grease on busy days. The runway length of 132 inches gives you enough room to position the car's wheels onto the pads, but you still need a clear zone in front and behind for the vehicle's tail. Width overall is 106 inches, so the lift will sit comfortably between two standard garage walls, but you'll need at least a few inches of clearance on each side to avoid scraping. One of the first real-world concerns I ran into was the floor requirement. A lift of this size needs a solid, level surface that can handle the dynamic load of a car being raised and lowered. Most installers recommend a poured concrete slab at least 4 inches thick, and you'll likely need to anchor the lift to the floor with bolts that are not included in the box. If you have a wooden garage floor or a slab that's cracked, you're looking at additional prep work, a cost that often surprises first-time buyers. In my research, the majority of people who ended up happy with the lift had either built a dedicated workshop floor or hired a contractor to reinforce the existing slab before installation. Now, what does the shorter claim actually buy you? For a garage that's on the tighter side, shaving 2.5 feet off the overall length can be the difference between fitting a lift and having to give up a wall-mounted tool rack. In practice, that translates to a more versatile space. You can still park a second car next to the lift or keep a workbench against the opposite wall. The trade-off, however, is that the shorter frame reduces the runway length compared to the standard model. While 132 inches is still ample for most passenger cars, you'll need to be mindful with longer trucks or SUVs. The rear wheels may sit too close to the lift's edge, making alignment a bit tricky. If you primarily lift compact sedans or mid-size SUVs, the shorter runway isn't a problem, but for a full-size truck you might have to adjust the positioning or consider a longer model. Another practical strength is the height capability. An 84-inch lift height is enough to park a car on the second level while still leaving room for a standard garage door to open fully. I walked through a friend's shop that uses the same lift, and the second-story parking works like a tiny car elevator. The real benefit shows up when you factor in the price of renting a separate storage unit. For a one-time cost of a few $1,000s, you essentially gain an extra parking slot in your own space. Over a year, the savings can easily outweigh the upfront expense, especially if you have a second vehicle you're trying to keep off the street. But there are hidden trade-offs you won't see on the spec sheet. The lift's hydraulic system, while robust enough for an 8,000 pounds load, requires periodic maintenance, fluid